When the 2000 NBA Finals got underway, the smart money was on the Los Angeles Lakers, an ascendant powerhouse anchored by two generational superstars. Few believed that the Indiana Pacers, despite putting together a marvelous season and earning their first ever NBA Finals berth, had a real shot against this burgeoning juggernaut. And guess what? That lack of faith in Indiana was well placed, because the Pacers simply had no answer for Shaquille O'Neal, the incomparable big man who bolstered his Hall of Fame resume in that series with one of the most overpowering performances in NBA Finals history. As the 20th century dawned, the Lakers and Pacers actually had a lot in common. Both franchises were playoff fixtures in their respective conferences following resurgences in the mid-1990s, yet both franchises were looking to snap extended championship droughts. The Lakers hadn't won it all since Magic and Kareem won their fifth one together in 1988, and the Pacers hadn't won an NBA championship since, well, ever. The last Pacers title came in 1973, when they were still a member of the American Basketball Association. In their first 23 seasons in the NBA, the closest Indiana got to a championship was the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, to their credit, they got there a lot in the 1990s, reaching the conference finals in 94, 95, 98, and 99 with a homegrown core of Reggie Miller, Dale Davis, and Rick Smits, plus eventually all-star point guard Mark Jackson and Jalen Rose. By the 1999-2000 season, however, the Pacers were running out of time. Miller, the heart and soul of the franchise, was 34. So was Jackson. Smits was 33. In fact, only one of the team's starters that season was under 30 years old. It was now or never, especially with Michael Jordan's Bulls finally out of the picture for good. Meanwhile, however, the Lakers were also primed for a momentous year after a breakthrough of sorts the season prior. See, 98-99 marked Kobe Bryant's first season as a starter, and with the young phenom starting to make good on his enormous potential, the Lakers had the perfect complement to their superstar center, the most dominant force in basketball: Shaquille O'Neal. It's frankly hard to overstate just how unstoppable O'Neal was at that point in time. Over his first 7 seasons in the NBA, split between Orlando and Los Angeles, Shaq averaged more than 27 points and 12 rebounds per game while leading the league in field goal percentage. During that time, he was named Rookie of the Year, he was an All-Star 6 times, and he was a scoring champion. He was a freak. Seemingly, the only way to contain him was to hack a Shaq, to foul him and hope he missed his free throws. Actually, from his rookie season through 1999, O'Neal attempted more free throws than anyone in the NBA other than Karl Malone. And ultimately, with Shaq at the height of his powers and Kobe coming into his own, the Lakers seemed destined to get over the hump in 99-2000 after getting only as far as the Western Conference Finals once over the previous 8 seasons. Coming into that season, in fact, only the Portland Trail Blazers had shorter championship odds than the Lakers. But it quickly became clear that the Lakers were the best team in the league, by far. Under new head coach Phil Jackson, the Lakers became an elite team on both ends of the floor. And with his triangle offense, with Kobe creating space for Shaq, the big man turned in his most impressive season yet. That year, Shaq led the NBA with a career-high 29.7 points per game. Meanwhile, he also averaged more than 13 rebounds per game and also established another career high with 3.8 assists per game. For his efforts, he was named League MVP, missing out on a unanimous selection by 1 vote. And to this day, he remains one of just 2 players to average more than 29 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 blocks per game. The other is Kareem. Undeniably though, his MVP campaign was made possible by Kobe, who averaged almost 23 points per game in one of the most impressive seasons ever from a player aged 21 or younger. And with those two balling out, the Lakers won 67 games, setting a post-merger franchise record and coming within 5 wins of the single-season NBA record set 4 years earlier by MJ and the Bulls. But just as things came together in Los Angeles, they also did in Indiana. Propelled by a deep rotation, all-star seasons from Miller and Davis, and a huge step forward from Rose, who was named the league's most improved player, the Pacers finished atop the Eastern Conference in 99-2000 at 56-26. They may not have been as sexy as the Lakers, nor were they as dominant, but Indiana actually posted the highest offensive rating in the league, with the highest three-point percentage too. And as the playoffs dawned, there wasn't a juicier potential finals matchup than Pacers-Lakers. The former, a veteran group looking for their first NBA title after so many near misses, and the latter, a star-studded squad looking to re-establish themselves as basketball's new powerhouse. Pacers-Lakers was the dream, but it almost didn't happen. The Pacers nearly got bounced by the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round, blowing a 2-1 series lead in the best of 5 before squeaking by with a 1-point victory in the decisive Game 5. And the Lakers almost pooched it in the first round themselves, blowing a 2-0 series lead against Sacramento before finally figuring it out in Game 5. Then, in the Western Conference Finals, the Lakers almost blew it again, squandering a 3-1 series lead against Portland to force a decisive Game 7. Amazingly though, with their season on the line, the Lakers managed to erase a 15-point second-half deficit to escape with an epic Game 7 victory, punching their ticket to the finals for the first time since 1991. The Pacers' path to the finals after that first-round scare wasn't so dramatic. They cruised past Philly in the second round, then bested their longtime rivals, the New York Knicks, in 6 games in the Eastern Conference Finals to secure the first NBA Finals berth in franchise history. It was happening. The matchup everyone was hoping for had come to fruition. In reality though, the two conference champions were not worthy adversaries. Actually, the betting odds for Pacers-Lakers are the 5th most lopsided betting odds in NBA Finals history. Because while the Pacers had plenty of talent, toughness, and heart, enough juice to win a championship most years, they didn't have Shaq. And the Lakers did. In Game 1 in LA, in the first NBA Finals game in the newly opened Staples Center, O'Neal christened the joint with one of the most incredible individual performances in NBA Finals history. Shaq, just as he had been all season, was the focal point of the Lakers offense. And he had an absolute field day, going an absurd 21 for 31 from the field while going to the free throw line 6 times. Simply put, the Pacers had no solution for O'Neal, who finished with 43 points and 19 rebounds in a commanding Lakers victory. It was a harbinger of things to come. In Game 2, despite losing Kobe to an ankle injury in the first quarter, Shaq and the Lakers were unfazed. They just leaned on their big man even more, feeding him the rock on seemingly every possession. Now the Pacers tried to counter that by resorting to their hack-a-Shaq strategy, but it didn't really work. Over the course of the night, Shaq went 11 for 18 from the field while setting an NBA Finals record with 39 free throw attempts. He hit 18 of them, ultimately finishing with 40 points and 24 rebounds in a second straight Lakers win. Yeah, it was abundantly clear that Indiana was in trouble. Nobody on their roster could stop Shaq. Not Rick Smits, not anybody. Even with Kobe sidelined, they couldn't contain him. And although the Pacers managed to win Game 3 with Kobe out of commission, Shaq still dropped 33 points in the Lakers' loss. And when Kobe returned to the lineup for Game 4, he and Shaq immediately got the Lakers back to their winning ways. That critical swing game was the series' most competitive yet, with Miller and Smits impressively matching the efforts of Shaq and Kobe. After 48 minutes of basketball, the game was tied. Indiana just needed to outplay LA for 5 minutes and the series would be tied. Unfortunately for them, however, that didn't happen. Instead, Bryant turned in 5 of the best minutes of his young career, dropping 8 points and adding a block in the overtime period to propel the Lakers to a 2-point victory. I should point out though that O'Neal still finished with a game-high 36 points while corralling 21 rebounds. Now to their credit, the Pacers didn't roll over after falling into a 3-1 hole. They actually turned in their best game of the series in Game 5, with Miller and Rose leading the charge in a 120-87 shellacking. However, with the series back in LA for Game 6, the Lakers reasserted their dominance once and for all. Although Indiana battled hard to keep their season alive and even clung to a 5-point lead after 3 quarters, Shaq ultimately snuffed out whatever hope they had left in the 4th. After dropping 28 points through 3 quarters, O'Neal went even more nuts in crunch time, going perfect from the field in the 4th to help LA erase their deficit.
Shaw's got it. It's a 2-on-1 break. Kobe Bryant flips it to Shaq, who is belted, and the shot goes down. So does Shaq, and he's clutching his left knee. He seems to be saying, just give me a second.
Yeah, he was fine. And he would go on to hit several more huge shots from there.
8 seconds to shoot. Harper to Shaq, guarded by Davis, turnaround jumper. How about that? He's got 40.
That bucket, which gave Shaq 40 for the night, put the Lakers up 4 with just over 4 minutes to go. And they wouldn't trail again. The Pacers managed to cut their deficit down to 1 with just over a minute remaining, but the Lakers staved off Indiana's last-ditch efforts before a series of late free throws from Kobe put the game on ice. For the first time since the Showtime days, the Lakers were NBA champions. And just like that, a new era had dawned for the franchise and for the NBA, the Shaq and Kobe era. There was no debate, however, as to which one of them was the key to the Lakers championship. And another gut-wrenching defeat for the Pacers, who would go another 25 years before their next finals appearance. For the series, O'Neal averaged a whopping 38 points, 16.7 rebounds, 2.7 blocks, and 2.3 assists per game while shooting over 61% from the field and going to the line 93 times. He played more minutes than any player on either team, and he didn't log a single game with less than 30 points or less than 11 rebounds. To this day, it remains one of the most dominant showings in NBA Finals history, and it made Shaq the obvious choice for Finals MVP. And although Shaq was named Finals MVP in each of the next 2 seasons as well while the dynastic Lakers completed their three-peat, his performance in the 2000 Finals is unquestionably his finest work. And no conversation about his outsized legacy is complete without mentioning how he overpowered Indiana en route to his first NBA title. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button.